Good morning. I'm Dr. Wilson Paul, Associate Professor, Dept.of Corporate Secretaryship of KCS Kasnada College of Arts and Science. Let us see an example for which to understand the firm underwriting. Now, the sum says it is a fast forward limited company made an issue of 60,000 shares which were underwritten by X, Y, and Z as follows. X 30,000 shares, Y 18,000 shares, and Z 12,000 shares. In addition, there is a firm underwriting as follows. For X is 3,000, Y is 1,500, Z is 4,500. The total subscription including the firm underwriting were received to the extent of 48,600 shares. The following marked applications, the marked form, were included in the subscription. For X 9,000, Y is 13,500, and Z is 5,100. Show the allocation of liabilities of each underwriter. If the firm underwriting is treated as marked application, and if the firm underwriting is treated as unmarked application. So we have to work out the same sum in both the ways. If the firm underwriting is treated as marked application, and if the firm underwriting is treated as unmarked application. Let us see the first one by one. The marked application in the next slide. Now, let us see how the firm underwriting is treated as marked application here. We'll start with the gross liability as usual. X 30,000, 18,000, and Y Z is 12,000. The marked application goes 9,000 and 13,500 and 5,100. So after this, we'll subtract the firm underwriting first, which is given guarantee by the underwriters for themselves. That is 3,000 shares, 1,500 shares, and 4,500 shares. Now, after subtracting this, the remainder will be 18,000 and 3,000 and 2,400. From this, we'll subtract the unmarked application. How to calculate the unmarked application? From the received application, 9,000 for X is marked application, 13,500 for Y is marked application, 5,100 for Z marked application, then 3,000 for the firm underwriting, and 1,500 for the firm underwriting of Y, and 4,500 for the firm underwriting of Z. Then finally, the balance will be the unmarked application. This unmarked application will be shared to the applicant for X, Y, and Z in the gross liability ratio. The unmarked application is nothing but the total of 8,000 rupees. 8,000 shares, I'm sorry. This 8,000 will be allocated to X, Y, and Z in the ratio of 30 is to 18 is to 12. So when you allocate that, we'll get 4,500 for X, 2,700 for Y, and 1,800 for Z. So after allocating the unmarked application, finally we'll add back the firm underwriting for X, Y, and Z separately. When you add your firm underwriting for X, the net liability for X works out to 16,500. When you add your firm underwriting for Y, the net liability works out to 1,800 shares for Y. When you add your firm underwriting for Z, 4,500 shares, now the net liability of Z works out to 5,100. So these are the net liability of underwriter when the firm underwriting is treated as marked application. Now let us see when the firm underwriting is treated as an unmarked application, how it works out in the next slide. Now, here we are going to see when the firm underwriting is treated as unmarked application, how it is going to be worked out. Okay. Now, as you start from the beginning, gross liability X, Y, and Z, 30,000, 18,000, and 12,000. Less marked application as we did earlier, 9,000, 13,500, and 5,100. Now, next, we are going to subtract the unmarked application now. Earlier, the unmarked application was the 9,000 shares, and now you are going to take your firm underwriting also here. Firm underwriting of 3,000, 1,500, and 4,000 plus your unmarked application. When you add all them together, you will get to the value of 18,000. Now 18,000 will be allocated to the X, Y, and Z in the gross liability ratio. When you allocate the 18,000 of unmarked, including the firm underwriting, to the underwriter, we'll get a negative balance for the Y, which means he is having a surplus. This surplus will be shared to X and Z in the gross liability ratio. So when you allocate this 900 to X and Z, X share will be 643 and Z's share will be 257. Now, finally that will be a net liability. Now we are going to finally add back your firm underwriting. The firm underwriting is for X is 3000, Y is 1500 and Z is 4500. When I add all them together, the total liability of underwriters will be 14,537 for X, 1500 for Y and 7,543 for Z. So that is your net liability for the underwriters when the firm underwriting is treated as unmarked. Thank you.